Looking back at it, Yamato warned Naruto his power was not just the power of the nine-tailed fox, but as the battles grew larger in size and the enemies grew more mighty, Naruto embraced wielding the power of the nine tails to bring down his mighty foes. The QB chakra mode caused the legendary shinobi brought back via Edo Tensei to fall at Naruto's feet. This power allowed him to stand up against enemies like White Mask Obito and to a lesser extent Edo Tensei Madara. The Nine Tails chakra stacked on top of the Six Paths mode given to him by Hagoromo was just enough to overpower Jinchuriki Madara, and it allowed Naruto to survive long enough against Kaguya that he could seal her away. He even used this very same power to bring Sasuke back to the village. However, that power that was gifted to him by his father was also a curse, one that nobody saw coming. Nobody except for Yamato, that is, and even he didn't realize how far-reaching those words will become. Your power is not just the power of the Nine Tails. Those are simple words, but in an age where Naruto no longer has access to the Kyuubi's chakra, those words ring more true now than ever before. By ignoring the hidden message of those words, Naruto no longer has the power to protect the world from the rising threat that is coming from the ashes of the corpse of the strongest enemy he ever faced. Ishiki is gone, but Code, Ada, Damon have risen from the embers of the chaotic flames that swallowed up Ishiki during Naruto and Kurama's final battle together, the last time Naruto would ever use the Nine Tails chakra. Kurama gifted Naruto with the power to bring down Ishiki, a being who Kaguya as well as Momoshiki did not dare face directly in battle. It paid off Minato's gift to Naruto, where he, on Naruto's birthday, bestowed upon Naruto one half of the Nine Tails chakra, believing that one day Naruto would be able to defend the Hidden Leaf Village using that power, that his son would become the savior of the world, which is exactly what Naruto would use that power for. However, in a series like Naruto, which utilized the concept of yin and yang, we are now seeing that even Minato's pure-hearted intention for giving his son this gift of power also came with a curse. Heroes rise, and ultimately, heroes fall. It's what makes legends about their exploits bring tears to the eyes of people who they saved in the past, because of the major impact they had on their lives and because those people realized that they were in the presence of somebody great. For Naruto, unknowingly, this has been the road that Naruto's been placed on from the day that he was given Kurama's power. Using the power gifted to him by his father, Naruto has now unlocked a curse that has served as the yin to the yang of this gesture of love and hope by Minato Namikaze. All roads have led to this point, where Naruto now faces a threat without the Nine Tails, and this is a huge obstacle for Naruto to overcome, because for most of his life, the Nine Tails power is the true power that Naruto knew to use, which is why Yamato's words ring so deathly hollow today, serving as a warning for what's about to come. The Nine Tails chakra given to Naruto, who already had a monstrous reserve of chakra at his birth, it gave Naruto enough chakra to boost not just his ninjutsu, but also boost his physical speed and strength as well. Time and time again, the boy who nobody believed in proved everyone wrong by using the power of the Nine Tails. As a 12-year-old Genin, prodigy after prodigy fell at Naruto's feet as he tapped into more of the Nine Tails chakra. Haku, Neji, Kabuto, and Part 1 Sasuke for a time realized that when insane work ethic is combined with the monstrous power of the Nine Tails fox, defeat is almost a certainty. Over the years, the mastery of this power would defeat countless enemies from Earth as well as enemies from the stars, including the mighty Ishiki Otsutsuki. However, Naruto's battle with Ishiki has resulted in a regression that many fans, wrongfully prior to this, assumed that Naruto had experienced in the Boruto era. Contrary to what many people believe, Naruto, while he was rusty from a battle perspective, did not get weaker between the final battle with Sasuke and the battle with Ishiki Otsutsuki. The Boruto anime, during episode 215, made it a point to show Naruto power up into his Sage's Six Paths mode, and then, just as he did against Madara, he also threw his QB chakra mode on top of his Sage's Six Paths mode. Hard as it is to accept, Naruto's opponents in the Boruto era were just that powerful, that Naruto had to exert more effort than a lot of his fans wants to admit. However, the constant in all of this is that Naruto has had the power of the Nine Tails to boost his stats, and he's been able to overcome each of his foes. Baryon Mode has removed that access to power. When Kawaki asks Yamato, can Naruto defeat Code, Yamato makes it clear, based on his current power level, that it's highly unlikely that Naruto can defeat Code in a battle, noting that this battle won't go the same as the one with Delta, implying that if Naruto fought Delta now, Naruto would fall. Naruto needed to use the power of the Nine Tails to fight Delta, and while he was in control of that battle, Naruto still pushed himself to a point of exhaustion, and with Code in his current state, having more power than Delta, Yamato's calculation isn't one that should be taken lightly. Naruto must eliminate that curse that has finally been triggered by losing the power of the Nine Tails. He can no longer fight relying on that power, and because Kurama oversaw the sanctuary of the other 8 Biju, it remains possible that Naruto might not have access to the small bits of Biju chakra that he had from the 8 other Biju, meaning Naruto now will have to rely on his own inhuman chakra reserves and pushing through his limits of Sage Mode in order to fight the threats that are coming. That's if Naruto survives long enough to do so. Watching Naruto break through his limits time and time again is something that fans are all used to, but can Naruto do so now without relying on the power of the Nine Tails, a power that saved him time and time again and swung the tide of battle in countless occasions? Can Naruto overcome this curse that has come from relying on the Nine Tails power, especially now that there's a being that is a 10 Tails level threat looming in the shadows? Code, someone Yamato already believes Naruto cannot defeat, has another level of power that comes from having his limiters removed, putting him on a level of strength that goes beyond Jigen, who effortlessly destroyed Naruto during their first battle. Ada and her younger brother Damon are stated to have power that exceeds Jigen's. This cyborg trio of Code, Ada, and Damon, 3 normal humans who have their bodies modified by science, now have a power that seems too high for Naruto to overcome at this point, at least through natural methods. Is that reliance on Kurama's power, which was used to protect the world time and time again, worth the price that Naruto has to pay? Even if Naruto knew that Kurama's power would not always be there for him to use, would someone as impatient as Naruto really heed that warning that Yamato gave him all those years ago, when he told him the true source of his power wasn't the Nine Tails? First, it was the urgent need to use his power to catch up to Sasuke. Then it was the urgent need to use his power to bring about the end of the 4th Great Ninja War. Next, it became about using his power to not just stop one Otsutsuki, but several Otsutsuki. When did Naruto have the time to seek out power away from the Nine Tails? When he was in a time of peace? When he was serving as Hokage? It's a question we won't know for certain. Why would he ever feel the need to seek power and skill away from the Nine Tails when there was no one, at least to his knowledge, who could push him beyond that? The fact is that Naruto made a grave miscalculation, and it cost him dearly. Only a little over 8 months have passed between the battle with Momoshiki and Kawaki being brought to the village. Naruto had no reason to believe that there was an even greater threat coming. He and Sasuke, with less than their full power, easily defeated Momoshiki and Kinshiki, who Sasuke said in the Boruto movie novelization were individually beings who are stronger than Kaguya and beings who Kaguya could not stand up against without an army, and Naruto and Sasuke took out a fusion of those 2 beings without using their full power. Never did it cross Naruto's mind that maybe there's a threat out there that's even greater than them, and maybe I'm too weak to oppose it. Naruto, for all intents and purposes, rightfully believed that he was the strongest person on the planet. And then everything changed. Kara appeared in the ninja world. Delta vs. Naruto showed that there were beings who relied on science to oppose Naruto in his powered up state. Jigen showed that there was a level of power that Naruto and Sasuke had not yet ascended to. Jigen left both of them near death. In the manga, Jigen said that he needed 2 days to recover from his battle, and when Naruto watched Kashin Koji kill Jigen, using simple math, it had only been a little over 4 hours since the battle with Jigen, since Jigen was only at 10% recovery. Before 5 hours had passed, Naruto found himself facing an Otsutsuki strong enough that Kaguya needed to catch him off guard, and Ishiki absolutely demolished Naruto and Sasuke. But once again, the power of the Nine Tails came to save Naruto, and Naruto, like usual, felt safe enough depending on that power, and depending on a power that nobody was sure where it came from. It was business as usual. The child of prophecy was using this power that was gifted to him by his father to save the world yet again. Now he must do so again without that very same power. Had Naruto heeded Yamato's words that Yamato himself didn't know held more meaning than he realized, Naruto would not be in this position. 16 years is a long time in a battle shonen for characters to power up. Most of those years were spent training, but most of Naruto's training was spent training the Nine Tails power. Naruto, upon realizing how rusty he had gotten, was shown training his chakra mode, powering up to break the jutsu of his guards. However, once again, he was training the power of the Nine Tails chakra mode and not training himself. The son of Minato, the fourth Hokage, who was a legendary genius, Naruto wasn't always the brightest person in the academy, and even after he graduated, at times he was so stupid that you wonder how he stayed alive this long. But he showed glimpses of being a true talent, and his hard work in of itself was a prodigy level skill. Not everyone can work as hard as somebody like Naruto. Not everyone has that drive and focus and determination. As Hokage, Naruto has access to scrolls left behind by each of his predecessors, including a plethora of forbidden ninjutsu that Hashirama left behind. Had Naruto heeded Yamato's warning, he could have gained even more power away from the Nine Tails. Just as Hiruzen Sarutobi learned all of the fighting styles inside the Hidden Leaf Village, from the Hyuga clan's Gentle Fist fighting style to all of the jutsu of the four noble clans, including the Akimichi clan's partial expansion jutsu, and even learning jutsu from other clans in Konoha, like the Nar clan's shadow possession jutsu, Naruto could have taken his time as Hokage to master these skills. Even his father's signature jutsu, the Flying Raijin, the ability to teleport anywhere in the world where there's a Flying Raijin seal marked. Naruto never bothered to learn these jutsus, something that I've done a whole video explaining why Naruto does not know the Flying Raijin. Despite what a lot of people believe, Naruto doesn't have this power. But the fact remains that by relying on this power that Naruto no longer has, he doesn't have the skill to stand up against some of the threats that are looming. It's something Naruto himself is seemingly aware of. His son Boruto is 80% Otsutsuki. Kawaki is 80% Otsutsuki, and Naruto is overseeing their training, hoping to help them push through the limits to wield that power of the two strongest Otsutsuki Naruto ever faced, Momoshiki and Ishiki. His hope is likely that by training these two sons, one by birth and one by adoption, he can get them to gain the power to protect the village in ways that he can no longer do without Kurama. Otsutsuki power is on a different level than anything mere humans can comprehend. Maybe it's through science, ninjutsu, and mastery of Otsutsuki power that Naruto believes his two children can defend the world, living up to the motto of the Naruto franchise that the next generation can surpass the next. However, if he does this, could Naruto be passing on a curse of his own to his own two sons? Boruto and Kawaki clashed during the time skip, and both during that time are mostly Otsutsuki genetically, and both have the power of the Karma Seal. Can their over-reliance on Karma for their power be their downfall? Or is Naruto, by having them train, also encouraging them to not only master the Otsutsuki power, but to wield it alongside science and ninjutsu? If this is the case, then Naruto has shown that he's seen through the curse that came from relying on the Nine Tails power, and he's now making sure his own son Boruto, by having power away from Momoshiki's Karma Seal, is able to protect the village and overcome Momoshiki's prophecy that Boruto's blue eyes would take everything away from him. Just as Minato gave his life and entrusted Naruto with the future and the power to protect it, Naruto in this time, after losing the power Minato sealed into him, Naruto's now on a path to entrusting that same future to his child Boruto. He might be cursed with not being able to use the power of the Nine Tails to protect the world, but that curse can be broken by having Boruto not only master the Otsutsuki power, but also master his Jogan and double down on infusing science and ninjutsu hand in hand together. However, that's just my thoughts in this matter. How do you feel about Naruto losing the Nine Tails? Do you agree with me that Naruto had a bit of a curse by relying on the Nine Tails power, and how do you see Naruto overcoming not having Kurama's chakra anymore? Let me know down in the comment section below, but as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.